What's going on, guys? Are you looking to upgrade your live streaming setup to look more like the professionals? You want to get that crispy camera quality when recording all your YouTube videos? Well, it's your boy Laylo, aka Mr. HD, and in this video, I'm going to tell you guys what the best possible camera is to buy without breaking the bank for live streaming to YouTube and Twitch right after the intro. And spoiler alert, it's not a Canon.
They call me Mr. HD, I'm here to steal the show. A ticking time bomb, my nigga, I'm about to blow. The movement started off small, eventually it grow. Now it's bad bitches front row, every city I go.
Welcome back, guys, and like I said, in this video we're going to be discussing the best possible camera options, not the cheapest, not the most expensive or most elaborate. We're going to be talking about the best possible option for the money as far as value and what you're getting in a camera to live stream to YouTube and Twitch. And to me, in my personal opinion, there's only two contenders for this title of best streaming camera for YouTubers and Twitch streamers. And those cameras are cameras from the Sony Alpha series. Now, if you're a Sony fan, you already know about the A series of cameras. If you're not familiar, Sony's been making this series since the a5000, I think, and ever since they've just been improving and adding features. And now we're all the way up to the 6600. But that's not the camera we're going to talk about today. The camera we're going to talk about today are the cameras that you're looking at right now. This is the Sony a6400 right here, and this one is the Sony a6100. Both are great cameras. I love them both. We're going to talk about the things that they have in common first. So the benefits that are shared between the a6100 and the a6400 are very important features that you need in these cameras. One is the flip up screen. It flips straight up behind the camera so you can monitor your footage that's being recorded or streamed very easily. Makes it way better. It's better than the flip out screens that flip to the left or the right, because those tend to get in the way of cables and things you have to plug in and attachments and so on and so forth. While the flip up screen is really convenient for live streaming because you have the camera mounted on the wall and you need some way to monitor yourself if you don't have an extra monitor. Also, both of these cameras do shoot in 4K, although we'll get into some issues with the 6100 and 4K live streaming in a little bit. They both do have a audio input jack if you decide to plug your microphone directly into the camera, which I don't recommend. It's usually better to plug it into a separate audio source or directly into the computer so it can feed straight into your streaming program. You can monitor the audio that way instead of through your camera. But if you have to, if you're on the move or something and you want to live stream from your phone or something, you can always plug a 3.5 millimeter jack into the camera and attach that to something and monitor your sound that way. They also have a touch screen, which I like. It's just convenient if you want to change something real quick from the front and you don't have to play with the dials. And the most important feature that these cameras have, which makes them kill the Canon M50 and made the Canon M50 just basically disposable when it comes to live streaming, is the clean HDMI. Now, for those who don't know what a clean HDMI is, I'm going to show you a picture of a dirty HDMI. And now we're back to a clean HDMI. Yeah, you see the difference. You don't want to see all that stuff on your screen when you're live streaming. It looks terrible. It looks unprofessional. So you don't have to jump through any hoops, or you don't have to use any shortcuts or programs outside of what's already in the camera to get that clean HDMI. And for live streaming, that is an absolute must. So those are the benefits that both cameras share. Now let's get into the differences. So the differences between these two cameras aren't that huge, really, and they might not really make a difference for what we're talking about, which is straight live streaming to YouTube or Twitch. We're not talking about vlogging. We're not talking about taking pictures. We are just strictly talking about live streaming. And the features that I'm going to mention that are different between these cameras are what is going to determine which camera you get ultimately. Now, for the Sony a6100, there are only two benefits that I could find over the a6400. One is that it's lighter in weight. I don't know if that really matters to you. And it's a little bit cheaper. So obviously it's an earlier model. It has a few less features. The a6100 is going to cost you around $750 as compared to the a6400, which is going to cost you around $900. And this is for the body only, no lenses. Why am I telling you get a camera with no lens? Because the stock lenses on these cameras, although usable, are not great. It's best that you just save the money, buy the body only, and buy a separate lens, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in the video. So now the benefits of the a6400 over the a6100 are a little more profound and may make a difference if you're looking to future-proof yourself or you're just interested in some of these features. The a6400 is weatherproof. So if you do decide to live stream on your porch or outside or on the beach or anything like that, and you got a mobile setup, the camera is going to be more durable. It's weather sealed, so you don't have to worry about it getting wet on the inside. You just still don't want to be shooting in the rain, but you have a better chance of your camera not getting messed up if you do shoot in bad weather. The eye tracking focus on the a6400. Now, the autofocus on both of these cameras is phenomenal. As you can see, it's great. It's a snap autofocus. It works in less than a second. So I love the autofocus on these cameras. But the difference between the 6400, which you're looking at now, and the 6100, which you're looking at now, which also has great autofocus as long as they're not something blocking it, but it also has great autofocus. But you see the delay in that autofocus where it was trying to find my face. Don't have that problem over here because this has eye tracking. The 6400 has eye tracking autofocus, which literally focuses on an eyeball and tracks that eyeball wherever it is on the screen. So it rarely ever loses focus from your face. And I absolutely love that because I move around a lot. I'm very animated when I stream and when I do my podcast. I'm not just a robot standing in one position. I spin and stand up and do all these things, and I'm in and out of focus. So having that sharp, crispy, responsive autofocus is a must. Now, the 6100 has a great autofocus, but the 6400 with that eye tracking is just a little bit better. On top of that, the a6100 has a major issue when trying to stream in 4K. By major issue, I mean it won't. The camera will die no matter if you have a dummy battery plugged up or not. It's not going to stream in 4K properly, while in the 6400 you can stream for 20 hours in 4K and not have a problem. Maybe longer than that. That was just the number I threw out there. But I've had this thing on all day live streaming and haven't had one problem with the a6400, which is the total opposite of the a6100. Now, to give these cameras continuous power, you need to buy an accessory called the dummy battery, which you can get on Amazon for 30 bucks. The same battery works for both of these cameras, and you need to have that to be able to plug it into the wall to get continuous power. Obviously, if you're going to live stream, you can't use a battery for either of these cameras, because if you have a battery, once the battery dies, what happens? The camera shuts off. You don't have a camera. You got to change your camera. If you're in the middle of live streaming, that's never going to be a good thing. So you want to make sure you have a dummy battery to plug into the camera and plug into the wall so you can have continuous power. Vital for either of these cameras, for any camera that's not plugged up through USB for live streaming. So yeah, get the dummy battery. That's a must have. The 6400 is just better for 4K. If you want to stream in 4K, which you shouldn't be, because most people can't watch 4K live streams like I can. I have super expensive internet, but everybody doesn't. So people have to watch it in 720 and 1080p, if that, and you have to have your stream available in those options. If you stream in 4K, it's going to be choppy. There's going to be a lot of lag. You don't want those issues with people who want to watch your videos. So make it easier for them. Just stream in 1080p and your life will be a lot easier. Both of these cameras stream in 1080p. So the 6100 is probably more likely what you need if you're just going to be streaming in 1080p and not 4K. And the final major benefit of getting the a6400 over the a6100 are the picture color profiles, which are basically LUTs or Instagram Snapchat filters that you can put on the video directly from the camera. You don't have to adjust any color or anything in your streaming app or any separate software. So that is a cool feature that the a6100 does not have. Now let's talk about the accessories that you must have to live stream with either one of these cameras. There's only two. The first one we already talked about, which is the dummy battery, a must-have to get continuous power so you don't lose a signal to your camera or power to your camera while you're live streaming. The second is the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. You have to get this lens. It's an E-mount lens. It works on all the E-mount Sony cameras, which include the a6100 and the a6400. This camera and this lens together are simply a beast. As you can see right now, I'm using the 16mm on the 6400, and it looks closer to a 30mm because the beauty of the 16mm is that you can always zoom in and zoom out on your footage. So if you want to make it look like a 16mm, which is what it is, then you can zoom back out here. But if you want to get a tighter shot, I can zoom all the way in and make this thing into a damn near 50mm camera without losing any quality on the footage. And that, my friends, is fucking awesome. Yeah, I like to have it right here around 30 so it matches my actual 30mm lens that I have on the 6100 for my headshots. I love this lens for my gaming cam boxes and different things like that because it's a tighter headshot. But the 16mm can basically do the same thing. You just have to zoom in with it. So the 16mm from Sigma is a must have. Yes, it's $400, but you already saved a couple $100 by not getting the full kit for the 61 or the 6400. So you can put that towards the Sigma lens and you'll be so much happier. If you want that professional look, if you want that blurry background, like you see everything blurred out in the back and how I stand out from the background, if you want that look, you gotta get a camera with low aperture like f1.4, which these lenses are. And you know, they're just great, man. I can't say any more good things about these lenses along with these cameras. They are fantastic. You see how awesome these cameras look. Like, look at the background in this camera. It's so blurry you can't even see it. I literally pop out of the image. This is what a professional shot looks like when you're trying to live stream. This is what you want to get. You can adjust the colors and all those different things. I like my colors how I like my colors, but you can adjust yours to fit or suit your needs, but you're still going to get this great picture quality as long as you have your settings properly set up and you have this camera with this lens, either of these cameras with the 16mm f1.4 lens from Sigma. Now, which should you buy? Well, my friends, that is a personal choice. Obviously, that's not the answer you want to hear because you came here for answers if you're watching this video. But I am not in your pockets, my man. I do not know if that $150 is going to make a difference to you. Now, I bought my Sony a6400 first because I'm always going for the best possible option. But then I did some more research on the 6100. So I decided to get that for my second camera and see if it worked just as well. Surprise, surprise, it did. It gives me everything I need to live stream. I'm not using LUTs on the camera. I'm not streaming in 4K because nobody can watch that. So the 6100 was for me about $400 cheaper because I got it before the prices skyrocketed another $250. So like I said, you can get it right now on Amazon for $750. You can find it on eBay and B&H and those other places as well. And the a6400 is $900. So I think for the extra $150, I think it's smart to future-proof yourself just in case people are watching 4K streams in the next year or two. If you want to use the LUTs, you can use those, the picture color profiles. The eye tracking is probably worth the $150 by itself. Honestly, the Autofocus is literally phenomenal, and I can't say enough good things about how crispy and quick the autofocus is on the a6400. But if you want to save 150 bucks right now, 2 weeks ago it would have been you saving $400, which would have made this decision a hell of a lot easier. I actually did a video recommending that you buy the a6100 over the a6400, strictly based on the limited amount of differences and the huge difference in price. It was just a better value. But now that the prices went up $250 on the a6100, the a6400 seems like the better value, with the 3 or 4 important features that you're going to get that you wouldn't get with the 6100. I hope this video helped you guys. That was everything that I know about these cameras. We can talk about settings and all those different things. Just leave some comments or something if you want help on setting it up for live streaming. I can definitely help you with that. You're going to need a capture card as well. If you don't know, you got to holler at Elgato, or just look on Amazon. There's all different kinds of capture cards, but that is also a must-have accessory if you want to stream with a professional mirrorless camera. But that's about it, guys. I would go with the a6400 right now. Based on the prices, is only $150 more, and you get some good cool features that you wouldn't get with the 6100. But if you want to save a little money, you can get the job done with the 6100. So go with the a6100 or the a6400, whichever your little pockets desire. I'm not going to decide for you. I'll let you make the decision. They're both great. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Just started this channel, trying to reach 300 subs ASAP. I would really appreciate y'all help on that. So hit that subscribe button, man, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.
They call me Mr. HD, I'm here to steal the show. A ticking time bomb, my nigga, I'm about to blow. The movement started off small, eventually it grow. Now it's bad bitches front row, every city I go.